والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. وعن المقداد رضي الله تعالى عنه قال: سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول: تدنى الشمس يوم القيامة من الخلق حتى تكون منهم كمقدار ميل، فيكون الناس على قدر أعمالهم في العرق، فمنهم من يكون إلى كعبيه، ومنهم من يكون إلى ركبتيه، ومنهم من يكون إلى حقويه، ومنهم من يلجمهم العرق إلجاما. وأشار رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم بيده إلى فيه. رواه Muslim. Miqdad radiyallahu ta'ala anhu said that I have heard Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam saying that sun will be on the day of Qiyamah so near from the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that between creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and between the sun there will be distance of 1 mile, and mankind will be according to their amal, according to their deeds. They will be drowned into their own sweats. So some of them will have their sweat reaching to their ankles, and some of them, their own sweats will be reaching to their knees, and some of them, they will have their sweat, it will be reaching to their waist, to their hips, and some of them, sweat will become rain. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, while explaining that sweat will become rain, the way we rain the horse or the animal, the sweat will become rain. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam pointed towards the mouth and said it will reach as far as here. Hadith Sharif is being narrated by Muslim Sharif. If we combine both Hadith Sharif, yesterday's and today's, we will understand clearly. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, the previous Hadith Sharif was narrated by Abu Hurairah radiyallahu ta'ala that mankind on the day of Qiyamah will be into sweats, and it will be so much of sweating that their sweat will go into the ground, into the earth for 70 meters, and that sweat will come on their body that it will reach to their ears. And that Hadith Sharif is being explained by this Hadith Sharif that it will be because sun will be so close. And there are two interpretations. One interpretation that it will be distance of 1 mile. And according to another interpretation, you have that surma bottle and you have that stick with which you apply your surma in your eyes. That much close sun will become from the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from the mankind. And why Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam says himself that sun will be nearer to you and you will be in your own sweat according to your amal. According to your amal. Some people, they will not have that many bad deeds, so they will be sweating and their sweat will reach to their ankles. Some people will have more bad amal, bad deeds, so their sweat will be reaching to their knees. And some people will have more, then their sweat will be reaching to their hips and waist. And some of them, sweat will become their reins. When horse is being reined, then horse cannot say anything. Mouth is shut, closed. That's how it will become. That's how it will become. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. If we ponder about these riwayat of Hashr, how Hashr is going to take place. We are going through only one Kitab, Mishkat Sharif, but there are many ahadith sharifa. When we open the chapter of Hashr, then there will be riwayat after riwayat. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us such believers that when it comes to the Hashr, then we understand everything about Hashr from Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When it comes to Jannat, then if we are true believers, then we want to understand everything about Jannah from Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. When it comes to hell, if we are true believers, then we want to know everything what has been said by Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam about hell. When it comes to death, science has its own explanation. Like we were talking this morning, that time will come to you and to me and to all of us. And human being has become so fearless. All these riwayats are there to create imani fear. Innal iman bainal khawfi war raja. Iman, it is in between the hope and in between the fear. But when it comes to the fear factor, it's gone. It's gone from our lives. This pandemic, it's a prime example. We are going through the pandemic period of one whole year. One whole year. And how I was in 2020, I am still the same in 2021. And there was people, we were talking this morning, there was people that because of these types of hadith sharif, Sayyiduna Abu Bakr radiyallahu ta'ala used to say, I wish I would have been a leaf of a tree. That's a sign of fear. Do I have that fear? And if I don't have that fear factor, then my iman is hazy. My iman is weak. I must have fear also and I must have hope also. Umar radiyallahu ta'ala explained that if it is being said that only one person is going to Jannah, Umar radiyallahu ta'ala said, I will think it will be me. The symbolic hope he is trying to explain. And if it is announced tomorrow that only one person is going into Jahannam, then I will think it will be me. That's why, from all these Sahaba, you will hear many things. I wish I would have been an atom. I wish I would have been a tree. I wish I would have been nothing. Why? Because these situations are going to come. They are more certain than anything else. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us that firmness. Scientifically, this time will come to me and to you, that we will be lying into ICU and said, oh, he is not breathing now. Machine is breathing for him. Oh, heart rates are going down. Oh, he has no oxygen, being supported by oxygen. Oh, pulse are very high. Blood pressure is going very high. Oh, organs are failing. Organs are shutting down. Kidney is not functioning. That's what they will say. And when it comes to Quran and Hadith Sharif, person's journey starts one of the two. Either you are being escorted to heaven, or either you are being escorted to hell. If you are being escorted to heaven, then your journey is likewise. And if you are being escorted to hell, then your journey is likewise. No one can see that. No one can see that. فَلَوْلَا إِذَا بَلَغَتِ الْحُلْقُومِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that one ayat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, if you can help it, can you return his soul back? You are standing so close to him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, our procedure started, that now his soul started departing from his body. Is there anybody in the world who can return it back? Bring the whole science. Bring the whole scientific inventions till the day of Qiyamah. They cannot do anything. That's why Allah said, وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الرُّوحِ قُلِ الرُّوحُ مِنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّي. Ruh and soul, it is from the mystery of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No one knows. No one can explain. When it comes to science, they say, hands up. We cannot say anything. But here, when it comes to Quran and Sunnah, they say that when your journey starts, it will be one of the either way. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and if we have, if we have embedded these riwayat within ourselves, then when that clash will take place between evil forces and between angelic forces, because this was your bread and butter, then angelic forces will have victory against devilish forces when you are making journey, and you will be having very pleasant journey. Otherwise, we shared that I think Maulana Sulaiman Kattani narrated in South Africa. One of the doctor from the accident and emergency in Qatar, he narrated to him that I was observing 100 cases, and he said, I did that case study, and when they came, majority of them, we were trying, because it's a Muslim country, they try. Some of the doctors, you hear that when they do operate, when they do any surgery, when they do start any medication, then they take Allah's name. Allah huwa shafi'i. Allah huwa shafi. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gives shifa. No one else can give shifa. That's why same medicine, same diagnosis, same trouble, same pain, one person treatment cured and one person treatment didn't cure. If it was into the hands of doctor, then result must be more than 100%. It is not into the hands of doctor. So that's why some doctors, they make sure that they remind you of Allah's name. Some of our doctor was saying that, when person comes to in that critical stage, he said, if I am there as a consultant, then I will try that, switch off everything. Because, for the believer, suffering also results in one of the two ways. Either sins are being eliminated, or if there are no sins, then his position is being risen. He is elevated rank-wise. One of the two. So that's why, instead of, keeping you medicated all the time and no natural suffering, rather, he says, I prefer that. So when, that's why, when we go through masail of fiqh, then they say that tabib hadiq, that if you have tabib hadiq and he told you that no, you cannot fast, then you should avoid fast. You cannot do this, then you can avoid. Otherwise, anybody tells you and you just take it for a ride, then you are not following the instruction of Quran and Sunnah. So that's why, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whenever we are not well, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us into the hands of tabib hadith. And the real tabib is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Real tabib is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I think Ali radiallahu ta'ala, or some of the Salaf, some of the Sahabi, when he was asked that, how are you? Can I call the doctor? So he said, the real tabib, because of his will, because of his decree, I am not well. May Allah subhanahu. So they are into the world of memes, but first sight of them, they fall onto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we are struggling, we are being reminded and we are being taught and we are being diverted our attention towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but we are lost into the asbab, into the means. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala connect us to Himself. And these are the tools of connecting ourselves to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are the mediums with which you can be easily connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is what Nabi Sassam is trying. That is what Nabi Sassam is trying. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us, correct understanding. When we go through these types of riwayat, sometimes you feel like sharing. You feel like sharing that one year we were into the pandemic. Sometimes, instructions used to come from medical world. Sometimes instructions used to come from the government. Sometimes instructions used to come from NHS. How many of us we are sitting here? If we have to ask ourselves that in this 1 year, how much familiarity you had with all those various instructions? And apply now same question, that how much familiarity you have with the instructions of Allah and Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. I don't know. We should ask ourselves every now and again that these instructions, there can be no two opinions. They can never change. When it comes to scientific world, that an example, Einstein had received Nobel Award on some of the research. After 100 years, some father of Einstein will come and say that all of his research was false. He received the award, and somebody will come and he will reject. That happens millions of times into scientific researches. But when it comes to the words of Allah and Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, there can be no change. But are we more familiar with the divine instruction, or are we more familiar with the perishing instructions? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, give us firm iman. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us firm iman. So, that doctor was saying that about 100 patients came, and all of them were Muslims, and doctor was Muslim. He said, I was trying to remind them, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. He said, out of 100, I think he said, none of them recited. That does not mean that he left this world without iman. That was his effort, that was his observation, and that was his conclusion. And according to fuqaha, that person pointed, had some of the indication or some of the gesture which indicates toward iman and Islam and deen, then we will consider him that he left this world with iman. So that is the masala. But that doctor was saying that I was closely observing, and that is the critical time. Physically also very critical time, and spiritually also very critical time, because two forces has war. They have war. Angelic forces and evil forces. They have war. And if angelic forces win, then that person leaves this world successfully. And if angelic forces loses, then that person leaves unsuccessfully. And how can you leave successfully from this world? If this becomes your oxygen, this becomes your bread and butter, this becomes your day and night, this becomes your reflection, this becomes your contemplation. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us firm iman, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala connect us to Quran and Sunnah. And only Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam becomes our motivator. He only becomes designer of our physical life, our worldly life, our barzakhi life, and our hereafter life. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta